Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So let's in this tutorial we're going to look at practical 9, and in this practical 9 you're going to be looking at the correlation coefficients. So you might be wondering what does it mean, correlation coefficient, and what's all that. We are still doing bivariate analysis. We're just going to look at the coefficient of relationships. So whenever you have a value, we say, okay, like the previous tutorial we draw a chart, right? We drew this chart, right, which has a, we can say has a relationship, and I ask you to tell me which kind of relationship this chart has, right, or this graph has between the spending and the marketing spend and the profit. So you might maybe you can say, another person will say, okay, it's a linear relationship. Okay, that's fine. Okay, can you quantify this? How can you quantify this using a mathematical value, like a value tells us how strong the relationship is? And that's where we're going to be looking at the coefficients of correlation. So as usual, we always start with a question, and then we learn the concept and need to answer the question. We answer those questions, and then we have an assignment to practice our skills more. Okay, so if you're new to the channel, please kindly consider subscribing, liking this video, and sharing this content with anyone who you think might find it helpful. Okay, now let's move on to what's correlation is. So correlation is part of bivariate analysis, where we analyze two data, right? So basically we're going to try to find how strong a relationship is between two variables using actual mathematical values. Okay, so whenever we have a linear plot, right, or any plot that helps us identify if there is any relation between data, right, how do, okay, there's an error there. How do we quantify this relationship into a number or a numeric value? So this is where correlation coefficient comes in. So this is in this specific case, we are looking for we're looking at the Pearson coefficient of correlation coefficient. So there are many methods of calculating it, but in this case we're just going to focus on Pearson's coefficient of correlation. So in the comment section below, you can let me know other methods that you can use to calculate the coefficient of correlation. Okay, so that will be a bit of assignment to you. So what's the correlation can be either positive correlation, like positive relationship, can be a negative correlation, or it can be no correlation at all, means that there's no relation between the two values. So there can be a negative relationship which can be quantified by the negative correlation, and then there can be a positive relationship which can be quantified by the positive correlation. A positive relationship which can be quantified by a positive correlation. Okay, so let's look at it. So correlation coefficient which is greater than 0.5 means that the two variables have a strong positive correlation. If it's less than 0.5 means that the two variables have a weak positive correlation. If it coefficient of 0 means that the two variables are not correlated at all. And the correlation between negative 0.5 and 0 means that the two variables have a weak negative relationship. And then if the correlation between -1 and 0.5 means that the two variables have a strong negative relationship. So this, you can take the notes of this down, or you can take a screenshot of this and then have it down somewhere. Okay, so we have looked at that already. So now let's look at this the question that we have, and the question is calculate the correlation coefficient, the correlation coefficient of between the marketing spend and the profit. So let's jump into it and let's see how we can do that. So down here in here, I'm just going to make a text cell, and then I'm just going to make a markdown here, and then simply say correlation coefficient, just like that. So what I'm simply going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and calculate the correlation coefficient. So I'm just going to say let me just say market underscore profit, market spend, let me just call it market spend to make it more descriptive, spend profit underscore correlation is going to be equals to, we're going to say df, right? You're going to go ahead and select the marketing spend, okay, and marketing spend. I'm going to say dot correlation, so to correlation just like this, and you pass in other, which is the other variable that you're interested in. In this case, it's going to be df, and then you're going to be selecting the profit. So I'm going to calculate the correlation between the marketing spend and the profit. So the profit is going to be the other one. Which method do you want to use? So I told you different methods you can use to calculate coefficients. In this case, you're going to simply use the Pearson method. So we say Pearson, and just that's all we need. So once I have that, I can just copy this because it's a bit long. I don't want to type it out. I'm just going to paste it here and run it. So once we have that done, you can see we have a positive correlation of 0.7. It's between 0 and 1, right? So in this case is 0.74 or approximately 0.5, right? So that's a strong positive correlation, right? So that because you can even look at this, you can tell this a positive relation because it goes like this. If it's a negative relationship, then it will be going like this, but since it's going this way, then it's a positive relationship. In this case, tells us it quantifies that relationship, so you can say that's a positive, a strong positive correlation. Cool, great. So there are other ways of calculating this, and let's look at the different other ways you can calculate this. So you can just say this, and you can say marketing spend, just like this, and you also want to calculate between marketing spend and the profit. So profit, and then you can simply go ahead and do dot correlation, just like this, and simply run that. So once we run this, we should get this right here. So this is actually a matrix, a confusion matrix. We're going to visualize this later on. I'll show how to visualize it. Okay, so this is going to be the marketing spend and the profit. So the correlation between the marketing spend and the marketing spend itself is 1, right? Because it's basically the same thing. So the relation between it and itself is 100%, right? Because it's the same thing, right? So the relation between the marketing spend and the profit is approximately 0.75, right, which we got here. And the relation between the profit and the marketing spend, again, is the same value, right? The relation between marketing spend and profit is going to be the same as profit and marketing spend. You can see it's right here. So it's around the same value. It's the same value actually. And the relation between profit and itself, the correlation between profit and itself is just 100%, right? Okay, good. So if you want to calculate for the whole data set, you can simply go ahead and do all underscore correlation, and you can simply do a df.correlation just like this, and just do all underscore correlation just like that. And if you run it, we can get correlation for all the available data frames, data columns that we have here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So those are the different correlations here: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4. Right, so that's basically it, and you can see all that value right there. So you can see the correlation between profit and the R&D spending is almost 100%, right? The correlation between marketing spend and the administration is I think this administrative spend is a negative correlation, a weak negative correlation, and also a weak negative correlation because it's the same thing, right? So you can go ahead and actually see all the correlation and then be able to tell the relation between them, right? So that's basically it. Now let's, as I promised, you're going to learn how to visualize this, and you're going to simply say visualize it. You're going to visualize it using Seaborn. So you say sns.heatmap, and then you pass in the all underscore correlation, and then you say are not equals to true. Are not equals to true just to allow the numbers to be drawn on the plot. So okay, I got that wrong. It's a not, double N and a single O. Okay, so run that, and we should see the graph here. So you can see the correlation right here. So you can see all the values on the main axis right here, the main diagonal. They are all 1 because it's basically between the correlation between basically the value in the value itself. In this case, R&D spend and R&D spend, the correlation is this much. Administrative spend and administrative spend, the correlation is this one. The correlation between the marketing spend and marketing spend itself is 1. Profit and profit itself is 1. But you can see the relation between R&D spend and the administration is 0.24. The relation between the R&D spend and the marketing spend is 7.2. The relation between R&D spend and profit is 0.97. So that's basically how we can read the confusion matrix, and we call this a confusion matrix in data science. Yeah guys, so that's all for it. We have learned how to look at confusion matrices, how to plot them, how to see the relation between the different values, and all of that. So you guys, if you're new to the channel, please kindly consider subscribing, liking this video, and sharing this content with anyone who you think might find it helpful. So this is actually the last video in our introduction to statistical analysis series. So if you enjoyed the tutorial so far, please kindly consider liking this video, sharing this content with anyone, and subscribing to the YouTube channel, and hit the notification bell so you can stay updated whenever I upload future videos on data analysis. I also have other videos on performing data exploration, and that's the best step for you to go after learning those things. Try to explore data, try to understand the different values from data. So you can actually go to Kaggle and find different data sets. You can just type Kaggle on Google and you create an account, and you can download different data sets that you can practice it working on. So if you have any suggestion on data set that we should work on, let me know in the comment section below. Share the link to data set. I'll try to do my best to create a video on it. So yeah, that's basically it, and thanks for watching. Please kindly consider subscribing, liking this video, and sharing the content with anyone. Also leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know how how this series was and how it went. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep safe. Okay, before we go, I just realized about the assignment, right? We didn't look at the assignment. So the assignment for you is to calculate the Pearson correlation coefficient between profit and R&D spend. That's where we have already done it, right? So yeah, you can practice again more. Yeah, so that's basically the assignment, and yeah, so that's brings us to the end of the series, and thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Keep safe.